Hello, welcome to He's Up, but something is off. Was that really annoying? I don't know. I did not. None of the intros are planned. Don't send lawyers if that affected your hearing in some way, shape, or form. All right. How's everyone doing? It's been a little while since I asked how everyone's doing. I hope all of you, well, I mean, I don't know all of you, all five of you now. We're up to like five people listening to this now. We upgraded from 3 people to 5. Very proud of myself. I hope some of you were able to join me on the Twitter live stream that I did last week. And it's the first time that I went live on Twitter. I had just recently hit 200,000 followers on Twitter, and I've been wanting to do a live for a little bit. So yeah, it was a good excuse / time to do it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I ended up doing, well, I didn't know how to really start the live stream properly. I started it, and I had one of my creator friends DM me and said, oh, you need to end the live stream, click these buttons, otherwise we can't chat with you or send you likes. I thought it would just be turned on by default, but so I did that, and he said, no, you did it wrong. So I had to like restart the live stream for a third time. I did it from my phone. I wanted to do it on my laptop. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So it was a good learning experience. We'll see when I may or may not do a live stream on Twitter again in the future. But anyways, I am, as I'm recording this, I should be in Asia by the time you're listening to this. Should definitely be in Asia. Possibly I might be on a plane as you're listening to this, somewhere from one part of Asia to another part of Asia. So I'll be in Asia for like a couple of weeks. And it's been, I just recently nailed down my flight itinerary, and I'm leaving, I don't know, a few days from now, from when I'm recording this. It's going to be fun. I haven't been to, it hasn't been that long since I was just in Bangkok over Christmas and New Year's. But it seems like every April I go to Bangkok. So I'll be there for like a little bit. Some of you follow the news, or even if you haven't followed the news, you probably all seen the videos on social media and everywhere about the earthquake that happened in that region. And it was such a big earthquake that it extended all the way down and had shaking down all the way down to Bangkok, because Bangkok was, I don't know the exact numbers, but it was like many miles, like hundreds of miles away from like the center of the earthquake. And it was such a big earthquake that even though Bangkok is actually quite far away from the epicenter, Bangkok felt quite a bit of shaking as well. So someone just, I was talking to someone today, and I mentioned like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Bangkok. And he's like, you're still going to Bangkok? It's like, well, I mean, it's not like the whole city has shut down or anything like that. And I'm not going to be there for, I don't know, another week or so. Anyways, I did see someone I knew was in Bangkok at the time, and he had like posted a video. I think he happened to be near one of the sky trains, and then he was like on the ground level on the sidewalk, and he was just filming the earthquake kind of as it was happening, and he had the phone pointed at the sky train. So, but all I can see was like the concrete pillars and like the concrete underside support of like the rail, but he's like filming it from like ground level, pointing it up. So I didn't see any trains or anything. But in the video, it wasn't apparent anything was shaking. So like I was looking at the video, it's like, I can't see anything shaking. But then he did #earthquake. That's actually how I knew about the earthquake. I do read news websites, but I only go on to like a couple of news websites like once or twice a day. Maybe at the beginning of the day, maybe not even every morning, I'll go on to one of the typical news websites. So it's like either in the morning and or at night. So I'm not on the news all the time now, because I can't be on news websites all the time with all the stuff that's going on with the government. It's not that I ignore it. I can only take it in like controlled doses, a little bit at a time. And talking to people I know in Canada, in Australia, in Asia, in Europe, for example, they all get the US news. It's like their news websites is also like has all like the US stuff in it because the stuff that the US is doing is so messed up that it's affecting like every other country. It's crazy. But I feel like US news is obviously very, very US centric. But yeah, when I went onto news website, couple of the news websites, after I saw that Instagram post from my friend about the earthquake, yeah, it was like headline news. Well, it was headline news on one of them. On the other news website that was also US based, it was not like the headline. It was just like whatever crazy shit is happening in DC, which is like, I don't know. It's just so crazy. I don't want to read a lot of it. I will read it in like limited quantities a little bit at a time, but I don't want to get sucked into it because it's like it's not productive for me to know all like the super juicy details. It's not even juicy, it's just annoying. My mini rant about the US news media right now. Well, it's not really a rant against the news media. It's just it's not the media's problem. It's just that because there's so much coverage on it, and there's so much coverage on it because the stuff being done is so messed up that it's like I just have to like take a step away from the traditional news media. Not because the news media is bad, it's because it's just too much news, just too intense. Anyways, so one of my earliest teenage obsessions was skincare. Instead of looking at toys in the kids section at the store, I was looking at moisturizers in the skincare section. As I grew up and navigated my sexuality, I saw that most of the beauty industry was aimed at feminine women, sometimes at masculine men, but everyone else was left out. It wasn't for someone like me. With Surf Labs, I wanted to create a fun skincare experience for everyone. I'm pretty sure your skin doesn't care how masc or femme you are or who you love, but I'm absolutely sure you need to take care of it. Check us out at surflabs.co, SERVELABS.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at surflabs. Something I wanted to talk about, that also was a little frustrating for me in a very different way. I drove to the gym a few days ago. Was going to go to the gym. I've been on a kind of like a little bit of a break from lifting weights because I think I've been going at the weights like just a little bit too hard. I mean, obviously, you do tend to have to push yourself a little bit at the gym to keep growing muscle and, get more endurance and, whatever your goals are. But I think I was just at the point where my body was starting to signal to me, like, you need like a little bit of a break. So I just went to the gym just to be on the treadmill to walk like a couple of miles, like very light bit of exercise. Because as I get closer to any sort of a trip, it gets busier and busier because, okay, I need to clean the house before I leave. I need to tidy the house before I leave. I need to do laundry. I need to pack. I need to create all this extra content so that there's still content going up on my YouTube, on my Patreon, on my OnlyFans, all that stuff while I'm away. Because when I'm away, I'm too busy and the internet is too crappy and my laptop can't handle that amount of content creation because of all these things. All the videos and podcasts and everything that goes out while I'm on my trip is all pre-recorded and like pre-done. So basically, I have to make I have to make 2 to 3 times as much content as I usually do, on top of having to do all the chores in the house and having to pack and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I don't know how we got onto that topic from me going to the gym and wanting to run a couple miles. Anyways, so I wanted to go to the gym, not to lift weights, because I was taking a break. I just wanted to walk a couple miles on the treadmill while listening to some podcasts. Okay. And I didn't feel like just walking around outside. And I was like, okay, let's just drive to the gym. I needed to drive to go do some other thing anyways, to buy something for the trip. So drove to the gym, was in the locker room. And usually in the locker room is where put my bag away, grab my earbuds, grab my water bottle, whatever, right? Just typical locker stuff. Usually, I would walk to the gym, okay? So I would put my earbuds in at home. So it's put the earbuds in, okay, it's connected, okay. Grab the bag, put the shoes on, leave the house, walk to the gym, and I'm listening to a podcast or music, whatever. This time, because I drove, I didn't put my earbuds in until after I got to the locker room. So I was in the locker room, all changed, ready to go, put the earbuds in, and they wouldn't connect. Now, I want to put in the disclaimer that I have a very nice set of earbuds that a fan of mine, a super fan, by the way, who's also a Patreon top tier subscriber, wink, wink, go to my Patreon, check it out. This person very, very extremely generously offered to buy me these earbuds, for which I'm extremely thankful. And I've thanked them many times. Also gave them a little extra offer for my Patreon. But these particular earbuds that I chose turned out to be a little bit problematic with connecting to stuff. So, and apparently when I look on the internet, it's apparently not a super uncommon issue. So these are the Bose Quiet Comfort 2 earbuds. They have a newer version called the Ultra now, which is like not a completely different design, but it's like a newer version. But I picked those because they have good battery life. Bose earphones and earbuds tend to sound pretty good. Bose stuff tends to have very good noise canceling. So that's the reason I went with those. And I put it onto my Amazon wish list, the old version, which are the QC2s, and not the new version, which are called the Ultras. Because the Ultras are like mostly the same as the previous version. They changed the name, but it has got a couple of upgrades that I don't care for. And, they charge a lot more money for the new ones. I was like, I don't need the new version. It's got all these like extra features that I don't want and won't use anyways. So I would just buy the old ones and save like 50 or however many bucks it was. The older ones have been out for a little while, and they're obviously a lot cheaper. So this very generous supporter, a fan of mine, bought me these earbuds, again, for which I'm super thankful. I wish I knew that this particular model of earbuds are prone to having connection issues. So a few days I go to the gym, and I've never experienced this before. Something must have changed. Maybe it got a software update. My phone got a software update. Something was up with the Wi-Fi. I walked under a ladder, whatever it was. They just plain would not connect. Like, they would not connect at all. Usually what used to happen was sometimes one earbud connects, like the right one usually connects, and the left one doesn't. And now I put it back into the case, wait a few seconds, try again. And usually if I do that 2 or 3 times, eventually both earbuds would connect. Neither would connect. And like, I was in the locker room for like 15 minutes, unpairing, repairing, trying to reset it, unpairing from the phone, rebooting the phone, trying all these different things. But this exact same thing happened like a week ago. And after like 10 minutes, unpairing, repairing, rebooting this, resetting that, somehow I got them both to connect. But a couple of days ago, it just wouldn't. And you know what I did? I went home because all I wanted to do was like, okay, I just want to be on a treadmill and listen to a podcast. And that was the only set of earbuds that I had. And because they wouldn't work, I tried for 15 minutes with everything I could to get them to work, and it wouldn't work. I was like, you know what? If I kind of have my earbuds, I'm not going to exercise. So I got back in the car and went home. So there you go. There have been times where once in a very great while, sometimes if I drive to the gym, it has happened that I didn't have my earbuds with me. And of those times when that happens, one of two things happen. I'll go home and get the earbuds and go back to the gym. Or I have worked out without my earbuds before. But a few days ago, on that specific day, I specifically wanted to like listen to some podcast while I was walking on the treadmill. And I was not able to do that because these earphones would not connect. So I've used them a few times since, and they are connecting, but I don't trust them. So the reason that I put the earbuds on my wish list, and therefore this fan bought me these earbuds, is I used to have some AirPods Pros. When I was in Seoul last summer, I basically like misplaced it or left it behind or whatever. Like they're in Seoul, and like I don't have them anymore. And that's how I end up putting it onto my Amazon wishlist, and that's how this person bought it for me. So I do have, since that time when I started having, after that, I was like, you know what? I need a backup set of wireless earbuds, especially for like when I travel, because I I don't know where it is in Seoul, but I don't have any more. I obviously had to fly home from Seoul, and it wasn't the worst to not have my own earbuds flying back from South Korea back to the US. But I was like, I could easily just have like a cheap backup pair of earbuds or whatever that I keep in my luggage that, it's like the backup. Like I have a backup phone. I can easily have like a backup earbud because not to have a pair of cheap earbuds, it's like, I don't know, $10, $15 is not expensive at all. And I was like, no, this is a smart thing to do. What I actually found was a pair of like knockoff AirPods. Like they kind of look like AirPods, but they're just like a knockoff, generic, whatever, made in Asia, obviously. They're super, super cheap. They don't do noise canceling. They look like AirPods, but they are not Apple stuff. And they don't do noise canceling. They don't sound very good. The battery life is actually like surprisingly decent for something so cheap. It was like, I don't know, $30. So that's about as cheap as you can get for like, I don't know, it's like a knockoff no brand wireless earbuds. I've only used them a very small number of times because they're the backup. Sometimes I use them around the house, but I don't need the noise canceling, and like the fancy earbuds are like in the gym bag, but like the cheap knockoffs are just like sitting on my shelf in at home. Sometimes if I need earbuds at home, I'll just grab those when I'm like not picky about how it sounds or anything like that. So if you ever see me wear like AirPods, they're not actually AirPods, they're just like some knockoffs. Besides, I need to have some backup for like $30 or something. Most of you probably have a facial cleanser and moisturizer already, so I want to tell you about Shield and Slay DP, which is an anti-pollution hydration spray I formulated specifically for my skincare line, Serve Labs. This is actually a product I've been looking for years now and haven't been able to find on the market, which is something that was a hydration spray but also has anti-pollution, antioxidant properties for your skin. Shield and Slay DP is the ultimate double protection defense for your skin, teaming up antioxidants, probiotics, along with hydrating ingredients to fend off environmental stressors and aggressors. You can use it as part of your daily skincare routine, but I've also designed it so you can use it while you're out and about, on an airplane, or whenever your skin feels dry, dull, or a bit worse for wear. All you have to do is spray it on. Check out Shield and Slay DP along with the rest of the Serve Labs skincare lineup at servelabs.co, servelabs.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at servelabs. The craziest thing I've done when I've forgotten something at home that I really needed is several years ago when I used to live in Silicon Valley, was going to drive up on like a Friday or Saturday night. I was going to drive up to San Francisco to go to a gay club. And I got all the way to the club. I parked my car. That's not a short drive. That's like a 45-minute drive. Drove up there, parked the car. I didn't have my wallet. So what I had to do was, I couldn't get into the club without anything. I didn't have any money or cash or whatever. I drove all the way back down, grabbed my wallet, and drove all the way back up again. But I think when I actually got to the whatever, it was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. So it was like kind of early-ish. So, there's not a ton of traffic. So I think I probably did like, I don't know. Yeah. So I ended up driving back home, 40 minutes away or whatever, grabbed my wallet and drove all the way back. So that's the longest effortsome. Is that a word? That was like the most annoying time when something critical I needed, like a passport or wallet or whatever. Oh, I've never ever been at an airport without a passport or without the ID that I need. I don't think that's ever happened. Yeah, I think that's like the most the most noteworthy time when I needed like something critical. I don't know if we call earbuds critical, but for this particular for this treadmill session I wanted to go on a couple of days ago, I specifically in my head before I decided to go to the gym, I was like, okay, I need to move my body. I don't want to walk outside. let's walk on the treadmill. And I hardly ever go on the treadmill. So like to have this idea of like, okay, let's just walk on the treadmill and then listen to some podcasts. And the fact that the fact that half of that dream was not possible, I was like, I'm just going to go home. I'm just going to go back to work. The next day, I did go back to the gym, and the earbuds did work somehow, miraculously. And I was able to walk on the treadmill, listen to some podcasts. So I did it the next day. So I guess I'm supposed to call up Bose and be like, hey, these earbuds, they don't connect half the time. What up? But I've heard from people on the internet that, like it's not a problem that happens to everyone. A lot of people have these headphones, have no problems. But there are also several reports of people getting replacement units, and then the replacement units also have the problem. So when I have some time to like call up customer service or send them an email or whatever, I'm too busy packing for my trip to get ready for Asia. I will do that. But when I'm packing for my trip to Asia, I'm definitely going to make sure I pack my backup knockoff set of earbuds. I just feel kind of bad because I want these earbuds to work because this fan spent so much money on them. Like $200 earbuds, or like maybe they're like $170, $180, but it's like the better part of $200 at least. That's a lot of money for earbuds. So I just want these earbuds to work. Yeah, so that's my little story for today. A little housekeeping. Because I'll be in Asia, there will not be an episode of the podcast next week. However, if you're on my Patreon and you're a Patreon subscriber, you will know that Patreon subscribers get an extra episode every week of a podcast that I call Uncut that goes out every Saturday. And because my Patreon subscribers are paying fans, paying members, you will still get a episode of Uncut every week while I am in Asia. That's the perk you get for paying those subscription fees and for supporting me. But don't you worry, there are a lot of other podcasts out there that you can listen to. You don't always have to listen to me, but if you do want to listen to me, you know what? We've done almost 100 podcasts. We all have almost 100 episodes of He's Hot, but Something Is Off. So while I'm in Asia getting banged next week, that's literally what I'm going to be. I'll probably be getting banged in Asia. You can feel free to go back and, you know what I might do? I may or may not do this. We'll see if this next thing I'm going to say is going to make the edit or not. I'll pick one of my favorite episodes from the past and maybe I'll repost it for next week while I'm in Asia. For those of you who are maybe newer to the podcast, if you're hearing this, that means it's going to happen. If you are not hearing this, that means it won't happen. All right, there you go. But until next time, bye, y'all.